they comfort me. You spread a table for me, full view of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My drink is abundant. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall
dwell in the house of Adonai for many long years.
We shouldn't be here. This shouldn't have happened. At noon today, just over 2 hours ago, I was supposed to be meeting with Charlie and Cheryl today for lunch, actually. Lunch today to talk about Dora's upcoming bat mitzvah a year from now. And the month of March plays a unique role in Charlie's recent life as we reflect back on the past few days. He was born on March 9th, 1949. He met Cheryl at a church choir rehearsal in March 1990. The first date was the opening of the film The Hunt for Red October. Charlie and Cheryl married 2 years later on March 14th, 1992. They had a Jewish wedding in the rabbi's study on Charlie's 50th birthday, March 9th, 1999. And Dora celebrated her 12th birthday just a few days ago on March 19th. And then Charlie, unfortunately, died the following day, and he was 66 years old. Charlie was born to Isaac and Louise Miller in Kingsville, Texas. He was a spiritual man of Catholic upbringing who found and chose Judaism with Cheryl in later life. He was one of 6 siblings: Jan, Teresa, Terry, Pete, and Bob. Charlie grew up and attended Texas A&M, class of 71, earned his degree in chemical engineering, went on a course to become a professional engineer, and worked for Gulf Oil, Texas City Refining, and most significantly, he worked for Turner Mason and Company for 20 years and became their first telecommuting worker as he moved from Dallas to College Station, and then until he retired to become a stay-at-home dad for baby Joe after 20 years with the company. With his first wife, Joanne, his first love, a girl he had known from his neighborhood, they brought Liz and John into the world, his 2 beloved oldest children. Liz and John grew up with Charlie and Joanne in Bay City, just a few doors down from both sets of grandparents. Joanne and Charlie's parents were friends and neighbors. Liz and John, who have gone forth to the ends of the earth, well, at least outside of Texas, and Hawaii. And Charlie was so proud of each of them, anything they did, and he glowed with their challenges and their successes. Charlie was humble, he was supportive, and he was a friend. Liz told me about hearing news of Charlie's death on Friday. She was on a school field trip in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains in California, and she stopped to take in the tragic news that she had just heard. All around her was such natural beauty. She thought as she looked around her, seeing the wonders of one of the most beautiful places on earth, she knew that the beauty she saw reflected her father's presence, his kindness, and his love of nature. And in talking with Dora yesterday, she recalled fond memories with Charlie camping throughout Texas and the region through the Adventure Princess program. They made pancakes every Saturday morning, and as of late, he helped her practice her volleyball serving. We all know that Charlie was incredibly neat and orderly. He even taught 3-year-old Joe how to clean up and wipe the toilet seat after using it. Put your spouse's knees. Charlie loved the outdoors. Cheryl recalls their hiking, lots of hiking, especially when they lived for 3 months in Los Angeles. They hiked in New Mexico, hiking Sandia Peak. And one of Cheryl's fond, likely lingering, sustaining memories of Charlie will be of Charlie sitting with a warm cup of coffee on a cold morning while camping. He loved the outdoors and he loved exercise. Running and cycling were among his favorites, and he was such a healthy man. And that's what makes his untimely and sudden death so very shocking to us all. Every few years, Cheryl and Charlie would take a trip to Alaska for work, and it was on a trip to Anchorage when Dora was 4 that they realized they wanted to get out of the big city of Dallas and move to a smaller place. And they settled on College Station with plans to settle and raise their family together here. As you've heard, Charlie has always been very spiritual. He's attended spirituality conferences. He's read numerous books about spirituality. And he discovered a love for the Jewish tradition as an adult, a tradition which resonated with him as he converted and took the Hebrew name Yitzchak, or Isaac, after his father. He converted at Congregation Shaarith Israel in Dallas, and then studied with Cheryl for 2 years to become an adult bar mitzvah. When I was visiting with Cheryl yesterday, I noticed their large collection of Jewish texts and learned about Charlie's love for his men's Torah study group in Dallas, a place where he made such good lifelong friends through their study together. Charlie gave back to the community, supporting Congregation Beth Shalom and Hillel locally, and of course working with Habitat Humanity in their amazing work. As others have pointed out so eloquently, Charlie was humble, sensitive, and a calm and caring man, and that's what attracted Cheryl to Charlie. But Charlie didn't seem to acknowledge the true wealth of his natural talents. But we all saw those talents, others saw those talents, especially his colleagues at Turner Mason and Company, as Charlie helped them to grow in their compliance consulting practice. In retirement, Charlie grew to become his true self, his true spirit, soft. Cheryl said that the last few months of Charlie's life were the best, for Charlie and for his family, tragically cut short. May the memory of Charlie Lewis Miller, Yitzchak ben Abraham, be for a blessing for his family and all those who knew him.
מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המזמר יוחנן